Today we will speak about leadership in a virtual environment. So how to lead now? How to lead the people when you cannot physically touch them? What is different? I would say nothing is new. As you heard, I do always transformational leadership. I constantly change. If I see the status quo is going into routine, I challenge the status quo and look, like in a Kaizen, in a factory, you make Kaizen and Six Sigma. You constantly look for another way how to make it better and change around according to the demand of the people and the changed world. Nothing stands still. If we stand still, the world moves ahead and we will not catch it anymore. So everything is in movement, and the unknown is actually something where I feel very confident, as you heard. And what is the unknown? That is like what happened in the last couple of months with all of us. We were all like in our businesses, we were like on the beach, we knew the beach, we were in the sun, we had our long drink, we had our partner on the side, and the waves were coming in, and it was just sunny and nice environment. And suddenly something came, something interrupted our daily process, and we suddenly didn't know what to do. What's now? So we have to stay home, we have to work from home. And we in ISG, we do this since 20 years. We have everything set up. Our business is built on the internet technology. Our founder, Guido Lessinger, said, we want to move to the internet 20 years ago. And so we always worked from home. We do interviews, we do recruiting and trainings, as you know. So we work a lot from home, but go to the offices only for interviews, or go to the offices only when we have a coaching or something like this, which can be also virtual right now. But most of the people, maybe in here and in the world, were interrupted. They were not used to a virtual environment. So they go into the unknown. And when I made this, I played a little bit with the word and I figured something out. In unknown, there is a lot of insight. When you look at it, first people say, no, I don't want it. It's empty, it's black, I don't know where it goes. But in it is also something you know. This is not all emptiness. It's not all what you don't know. There are things in it which are still the same, and things where you discover and you say, now it becomes my own new world. I like that word game when I figured it out. Now there are three people. When there is a sudden change, there are three types of our instincts coming automatically in front. One of them is attacking, the other one is running away, and the other one is playing dead. And we see in all the organizations right now that there are people, they take the opportunity, they run, they see, hey, this is a chance, this is my now, or I have to do something, they attack. And you have the people, they flee, they run away. But it's important to not run away with headlessly. And some play dead. So the attacker says, feel the fear, they are afraid as well. But feel the fear and face it anyhow. The ones which run away, they run with the herd and hopefully behind a good leader. And we will come to this point. What is a good leader in this situation? And then there are the people, they say, that's God's will, destiny. They are a bit a leaf in the wind, but this is also okay. All three of them are okay. And what type are you at work? We are all the type. Let's get you for each type, for all of the types. There are only three questions you need to ask to get a little bit enlightenment into this dark chess play at the moment, where we don't know where it ends. Good questions for you. Maybe, where are we now? Right now, what is the situation? Just be very logical and say, what is the status quo right now? Honestly, and see. And ask yourself, what could happen in this situation? Maybe at work, you would hyphenate and say, what is if this goes longer? Would the company have to kick me out? What do I do when I lose my job? Or what happens if I lose my job? And get clarity, very clear clarity, what is the situation and what is if? And how would you react? And after the reaction, look from another angle and ask the very same question. What would happen then? What would be the new status quo? Like in a chess game, you always do something, but it changes. You may estimate it wrong, but you adapt. And you look from another angle and from another angle and hyphenate the worst case scenario so that you are not afraid anymore of what could happen, because until you know the worst case, you are afraid. But if you face the worst case, which seldomly comes, you would be maybe afraid. You would be maybe stuck. You would may run in the wrong direction. But if you know, this is the worst which can happen, and you may try to find answers what you would do then you can go back and say, I don't want this to happen, so I try my best to make a better outcome. So now, these three types, the attackers mostly are the leaders right now. So as you saw, when everybody runs out of a burning house, I'm actually running it. I'm an attacker. I face the fear. I look where is the source of the problem and I distinct the fire. And that really happened. That was in an apartment and we had fire in the floors. Everybody ran out. Andreas the crazy took a wet towel around his face, went in, and I saw in the kitchen there was on fire such a curtain, made a lot of smoke, and I just distinct that, and that was it. And this is people, I feel well in such situation, unknown, maybe a little bit dangerous, but I go on it. There are people who say, who are the good leaders? I want to follow a good leader. And then there are the people which are playing that, they wait for the destiny, which is good. You are embedded in a society wherever you are, and this is okay. Act according to your type, I would say. And the leaders have to distinguish who is who, not to expect too much from the wrong people in this situation. We need all people, all types of behaviors. But at the moment, we need to look who can lead us out of certain situations, who can lead us in this new virtual environment where we are not used to have the discipline, where we are maybe not used to that the grandma is coming or ma is coming. Hi, you are at home, can you pick up the milk from the store while you want to work? How to deal with them? How to deal with the kids? How to deal with the dog or the cat? I had some very good funny stories where the cat walks next to the camera over the table while we had a very serious conversation. But this is okay as well. So how to lead now? Whom to follow? Because there may be many wrong people who say, follow me. But how can you distinguish the right leader? Leadership abilities in a crisis and in a virtual environment. The first thing, how to lead in uncharted waters. That brought me the metaphor of Christopher Columbus. When he did not know where he is going, he knew he has to go to the west, but he did not know where he will end up. And he had to motivate not only one ship, a couple of ships to go in this direction. They had no cards. They couldn't chart the course really, but it needed the leader to chart the course. And navigation is required. So you need a vision. A leader now knows what to do. They have a vision. They say, we go this direction. I believe this will be right. Understanding what the future may hold and seeing the opportunities, not blindly, but seeing the opportunities of the future and have accurate, very accurate interpretation of what may come. And that needs a good thinker. So a person who just starts now to think is not the right one yet. So when you are used to thinking, and there are 11 ways of thinking, which we have in a book here, 11 ways of thinking. I do some mastermind courses on this as well. How to think accurately in which situation. And to navigate others, you must know the way, show the way constantly and again, so that they hear it again and again, see, and you are congruent as a leader, and then walk the talk. But what leadership do we need? There are 5 levels of leadership, and I want to walk you through. This is a whole seminar I did recently in Techno Park in Istanbul for a whole day, but let me walk you through in 5 minutes. There is the first level, which is a positioning level, position. Some leaders believe you can lead others, and they give you a position, but you are not the leader yet. Position, if you look at it, it says rights. And the people follow you. Listen to this carefully. The people follow you because they have to. They may not want to yet because they don't know you yet, but they have to follow you. So you have a position, you have a chance to show up. But will you use this chance? If you have positional leadership in a virtual environment only, then the people you tell them do that, they will say yes. And if there is nothing else, they may not do it. And with the position, you can say, I can cause you your paycheck. And they will do as much as necessary not to lose the paycheck, but not more. But you need the full potential, the whole head of these people as a leader. And you, as a person who is an employee, maybe a follower, you want the leader who is not pressurizing, who's not pushing you down. There's a good sample. If you push somebody down, you have to go down also. You're not building yourself up. So you need to find different ways to lead people from far away so that they want to. That means you need to build a relationship. And this makes the permission level. You lead people, and you have the permission to lead people because of the relation you have, because of what you do to them, how you relate to them. And if you are now not having that, if you always relied as a leader on your power of the position, then you are at the moment doomed, because you cannot order from far away. You have to do that. They will do minimum. When the phone is down, when the Skype is closed, when the Zoom is over, they are again with themselves and they do what they want. The results may not show up, but the leader may go crazy if you use power. But if you have a relationship, then they would do it for themselves and for you. So the bonding goes on. But these two alone don't make you successful in this situation. You need the third level. You need the production level. You need to make these people successful far away. So they are at home. They need to do the right thing. You need to coach them. What works, what doesn't work. Look at it every week. What works, what doesn't work. How can I help you that it works better from far away? and come to the production and challenge them. Look, I challenge a couple of people right now by going online and making a seminar, and they get nervous, and that is good. I stretch people. As a leader, you should be the stretcher of people in a positive way, not by pushing down, but by building up. So you come to the production, and now the bonding gets so strong because of you as the leader. They become more than they would be without you. You make them more successful than without you. And then you look for people in these people which are walking with you if you are the leader. And then you look for people who can multiply a positive chain reaction. And you develop those people to new leadership so that they can develop other leaders. And that all brings you to the pinnacle, which only a few people reach, like John with 1 Million Leaders Club, or like Gandhi, or like Mother Teresa, or you can name leaders. When you help so many leaders to be a leader, then they make you to leader. So the first and the fifth position, you are actually developed, you are pushed into. So in a virtual environment, you need to come to level number 2 minimum, to the permission, so that the permission, that the person does not let everything fall when you hang up, that they are motivated, that they get an inner motor, and they start to produce with good guidance. That gives you a glimpse. We do also mastermind groups and workshops on the 5 levels of leadership, which you can ask us, and we can come and look to your organization to help you. But the questions you can ask yourself is, what is my level of influence in my group? With my leaders in the organization, maybe they may be also peers or leaders above you, and with my followers or the people I have to lead. And you will figure out, you will be on different levels with everybody. With the one you are on 3, with one you are on the 1st level, and with the other one you are on 4th. But make this picture. Then you can chart the course and you know who to count on and who you have to give time, not pressurizing them, but helping them to reach their potential with system and with programs. Who are the top influencers in your organization, and do I influence the influencers, or whom? Leadership abilities in a crisis. So navigation, the leader is to navigate. I give you a plan ahead, a short thing to help you to plan ahead. And take the letters, take the P for predetermine a course of action. You have to take your thinking time. I have a thinking chair every morning and often in the evening. I sit in my thinking chair. This is my dedicated chair where I sit every day, and I think, what could be the future? I don't know either. You don't know, I don't know, we don't know. And I try to keep it positive to see, of course, I hibernate the worst case. But what could be the opportunity in it? So then predetermine the course of action, where to go, lay out the goals to your people. And some of my people are in the call, so they know that I did this the last couple of months a lot. I charted the course, I showed the goals, where we want to go, and we readjust all the time these priorities and notify the right people, get the right people on board. And then allow the time for acceptance. And this is where I'm very impatient. I see the goal, I see where I want to go. Can't you see it? And I want to be already there. And they yet didn't understand what I'm talking about. So take your time. you have thought it through maybe in your thinking chair, in your thinking place, but you have the idea, now you have to communicate it. And virtually, I do videos, I do writings, I do all kinds of things which may help you to convey the message to your people, give them time so that they can think it through and grow in it, understand it, and buy into this idea. And then head into action when you have the people on board. I don't know if you know, there is a video, there is a guy dancing on a beach, such a kind of beach on the grass. And he's quite long dancing alone. And as a leader, you have this situation very often. You show the people you dance and you tell how funny this is and how great and what energy and everybody is watching you. And you may think that is stupid. But then one comes along and dances also, and they look ridiculous together. But after a while, a third one, a fifth one, a 10th one, and suddenly it's a movement. And this is what you want to do when you go somewhere. You have to convince 1, 2, 3 people. Normally, when you reach 3 to 5% of people running with you, everybody else comes along as well. But you need to dance as long until the first leaders come along. And this is always the question. The people say that there was this tribe, you know, they made the rain. They called them always in when there was no rain, and the tribe came and they danced for rain. You maybe know that. And there was one particular tribe, they always succeeded. And then they asked them, how can you always succeed? How is this possible? There are other tribes, they dance the same dance you do, actually. Why do you succeed always and they not? And this successful tribe said, that's very easy. We always dance until. We always dance until it rains. And if I have to dance a year, then I dance a year. So head into action, go, adjust, and expect problems. Maybe it doesn't rain immediately in the first month, but deal with it and always point the successes. We can speak hours and hours about problems, and we all have them at the moment. We all have them. We all have them. One with growth, like Amazon, they don't know how to deliver first. And the others with maybe shrinking environment. I just was with the airline the last week with the Chamber of Commerce of America in Vienna here, and I hosted a meeting for them. And they said that the boss of the airline said, we are 82% down. 82%. Expect problems to come. They will never be up in the next 3 to 5 years to where they were. They know that, but he was very positive. He knew that the business will change, and he's ready. He thought into the worst case, and he does everything online. The meeting is normally not virtual, it's physical, but we had a virtual meeting. So always point to successes and what you did so far to succeed, and daily review your plan with your people in a positive manner, in a kind of coaching manner. So this was the first law of leadership, navigation. The leader navigates and charts the course. Everybody can steer a ship when there is good weather, but to navigate and chart the course when it gets hard, when it's getting hard, then we need a leader. If you are up, you cannot say, I learned it now. You have it or you don't have it. Then you can be a leader now. Otherwise, be a follower and support the leader. So leadership abilities in a crisis, number 2 is the law number 2, intuition. And I don't know how to teach intuition, because I believe very strong when they ask me, they ask me, are leaders born? And what they want to ask me is it that you have to come up with some abilities? Are you born with abilities? Or can you learn that? And when they ask me, are leaders born? I always say, I hope so. Actually, I don't know any leader who is not born. And I actually don't want to know any leader which is not born. So yes, of course, people are born, but leaders are made. You learn it, except a bit intuition. There are two ways to have intuition, to be intuitive in something. You can be intuitive to lead people from far away and you know what to do because you feel it, or you have to learn it. Some people feel it. They are intuitive in this. They know this is the right way. And if you're a long-time leader, then you have experience, insight, knowledge, which together make you feel the right decision as well. So there are both ways in intuition. You can learn to be intuitive in leadership. We are all intuitive in something. My wife is good in cooking, yeah? And she's intuitive with the salt. She knows how much to put in. I don't know. When I put it in, it's too much. So everybody has an intuitive in some actions. And in leadership, if you have it naturally, wonderful. If not, you can still learn it. But you need to know what is the right decision. And when you feel it, then it's your time right now in this situation. The third law is, there are many laws which I came up with, which you need now in this virtual environment. But let me give you three, a little detail, and the rest I show you in an outline. The law of solid ground. You need to be solid, grounded, and the trust is the glue which holds your people together now. And trust is a two-sided thing. You cannot say, the people have to trust me. No, trust is not ordered. Trust is given in both directions. You have to trust your employees, your people in the organization, and they have to trust you. And it has to grow. So trust is the foundation. And how do you build trust? Competence. So if you can navigate, if you have intuitive, then you have competence in what you do, then they will automatically, within time, trust is built over time, trust you. Connection with people, that was the second level, remember? Second level of leadership is connect with people, be in touch with people, know them, not only on the business level. Look, if you always come and speak with people, and then you don't even know that they have children, but you constantly want something, that doesn't work. The trust doesn't work. You have a private life as well. And you, as a leader, need to know the entire person to be able to move this person, where they are motivated, what they want. Help them to get what they want, and you will get everything what you want. Zig Ziglar said that. Help enough other people to reach what they want, and you will get everything in life what you want and more. So connect with people, and we could talk hours on that alone. Credibility, build credibility with people, that they see you have character again and again and again. And there is a good quote from John, who says, when you are credible with people, the longer that you lead them, if you have credibility, the longer that you lead them, the better it becomes. They trust you, they believe in you, they see you do and walk and speak the same thing. What you say, you do. You become credible. Your decisions, your intuition is right. Your navigations, sometimes you fail, sometimes it's right. Doesn't matter, but they see that you walk the way. You have credibility with them. They trust you, they follow you. On the controversy is, if you lack credibility with people, the longer that you lead them, the worse it becomes. It disintegrates. So the longer that you lead them, the more it's seen what type of a leader you are. It's hard to swallow sometimes. But if we see that they don't want to follow me, I can look in the mirror and say, what is my credibility level with my people? What can I do to change? Don't show them and say, you have to change. Because when you look, when you point out to somebody, there are 4 fingers, at least 3, coming back to you. What can you do to get credible with people? And integrity is one of the most important in this virtual environment. And how do you describe integrity? I heard the other day a wonderful message, integrity. A mother was asked by a child, how do you show, what is in integrity? And the answer of the mother was amazing. She said, child, integrity, you know, is when you know what to do from school, the homework, and going to sleep at the right time, and doing this and doing that. That's the entire thing. You do it right. You know what's integrity? She said. When I'm looking, you do it right. But when I'm not looking and you still do it, that is integrity. And this is what you need of your people when you work virtual, because you cannot stand next to them and look if they work. They don't run around in the office to look like they work. They can't make a leader at ease this way at home. So do you help them to get integrity? So you need to go to the 2nd and 3rd level of leadership to get this with people within time. And when you have it, it's amazing what happens. People trust each other. But when you lose trust, trust is like a piece of paper. When you betray people, when you lose trust with people, when you do this with people, then you figure out, ooh, mistake. Okay, let's straighten it again. You know what you can do now? You can do whatever you want. This paper, when you iron it, it will never be as it was before. If you betray people, if you push unnicely, they will never forget. And if you lose trust with people, you lose the entire person. You lose the loyalty. And I have a book here about loyalty. Why loyalty matters. Huh? Very good book. And it matters now the most. They will be loyal to you if they can trust you, and you promise that it will be wonderful. So we lag a little bit time. We made these 3, but we have many more. We need the timing. We need influence. We need to empower people. We need to help them to victory. You are responsible that they are successful in this new environment. Chart out the things which are not necessary to do. Help them to do only the focused points at home, how to set up to be successful. Cut out everything else, clean out. And so we can speak hours now. And I do on each of these mastermind groups, workshops, and we can talk about that. You have my email address. The new world is coming, and it is a yet confused world, but there is still the world, and we will find our places in it. Own it. This change happened. We work from home. Many of our people say now, as we say, you can come back to the office, they say, why? I work very efficient at home and I don't lose 2 hours on the way. So can we work from home? And we said, yeah, sure, of course. And that will be a new environment. Last of the last. Then I want to end with a small story. There were 2 boys in a town, and the boys, they had an old wise man in this town, And everybody who had a question, they came to this old wise man and asked him. And for everybody, he had an advice, kind of like a real leader, you know? An advice, a suggestion, or something. And the small boys, they said, he can't know everything. Come on. And they have an idea. They said, let's take a small bird out of the nest and let's put the hand behind ourselves and go to the old wise man and ask if the bird is alive or not. And if he says he is dead, I open my hand and I let the bird fly. And if the wise man said he's alive, and with this idea, they go to the old wise man and they say, old wise man, is the bird in my hand dead or alive? And the old wise man looked to them, a little bit sad, but with hope, and said, young man, it's all in your hands. And so is virtual leadership.